Hello, Taurus. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Aviana. This is Aviana's Ascension, and today we are doing a bonus reading for you for love and career. This bonus reading is just a thank you. You were the highest viewed reading for August, so just wanted to give you a little bonus reading to let you have some clarity in some other areas of your life. These bonus readings are timeless, so whenever you find it is perfect. Make sure you check out your August and September reading if you haven't already. So thank you guys so much. This is for all Taurus placements, so just take what feels right for you, leave the rest behind. I'm a Taurus rising, so I'm always excited to see what's going on with you guys. But let's get into it. We're going to start with career, then we'll dive into love. Yeah. Oh, vision. Yeah. Okay, so for your little vision, for your message to get us started here, I just saw you guys kind of meditating, and then I saw like smoke, kind of like incense smoke or sage smoke, something like that, like just kind of creeping up. And then I heard, where there's smoke, there's fire. Okay. And they kept saying you're a lot wiser than you're giving yourself credit for. Like, really trust your gut with something. Okay. This could be with love and with career. There's something that you're like kind of your intuition is kind of like poking at something, and you're noticing something. You may not have the evidence, you may not have the confirmation or the validation right now, but spirit's saying trust your gut with this. There's a reason you're noticing things. There's a reason things are feeling a little weird, a little off. So don't downplay your gut feeling. Trust yourself. Trust your intuition. Trust your inner wisdom, your inner knowing, you know? You may not have the logical explanation, but your soul knows what's up. Trust yourself. All right, let's get into it. Let's see what's going on. So for career, at the bottom of the deck, we're going to do oracle messages and then clarify them with tarot. We do have break the chain here, don't dim to fit in, transformation. Yeah, I definitely see a big shift is happening for you in career. You may be getting a promotion, starting your own business, or just deciding, you know what, my job is not to fit in here or get everyone to like me. My job is to do my job and do it well. And so maybe now you're like, I don't want to dilute myself or quiet myself just to make other people comfortable, especially if they're doing things that don't make sense or if your idea is better. You know what I mean? You are taking up space. Okay. We also have break the chain, Mintalkin. So yeah, I see that you may be wanting to switch careers, or maybe just wanting to approach something in your career with a lot more like purpose and intention. I definitely see a big transformation happening for you. Yeah, it just feels like you're allowing yourself to take up space to be seen, and that's that, you know, like I feel like you're not asking for permission anymore. You're not trying to hide anymore, you know, like you're taking up space, you're putting yourself out there, you're sharing your ideas and your beliefs. I like it. Okay, let's see what's going on for Taurus for career, please and thank you. Taurus and career. All right. Okay, we have dance with life. Do something to change your energy. Align your life, what is not aligned or needs to change. And take a break, a life's work, not a season, get off the treadmill. Okay, so both of these cards are clearly about changing, shifting, realignment. Okay, we just had an eclipse, a lunar eclipse on the 7th, and then we have a solar eclipse on the 21st. So with all these eclipses, all this transformation happening, I'm not surprised to see these cards. This could be a situation where maybe you're not fully accepting that something isn't right for you. You know, maybe you want to switch careers, maybe you just want to switch your job, maybe you want a promotion or you want to have more responsibility, maybe you want to be your own boss now, you know, whatever it could mean for you. There's a million of you. But spirit's saying, you know, there is a shift that you are desiring. So allow yourself to go towards it. Allow yourself to trust what it is you're being guided to go towards or move away from, you know? And then with take a break, a life's work, not a season, get off the treadmill. Beautiful. So there could be an element of like trying to rush or trying to control or force something to come through. I think that you need to move with more trust and faith in regards to your career, and recognize that whenever you do try to control or force or rush, that is a sign of distrust. That's a sign, sometimes we think we have to rush because we think, well, if a certain amount of time passes, that means it's not meant for me. If I'm not overworking and hustling and pushing myself, that means I'm not worthy enough to get something. And that's just not the case. So I think that a mindset shift is necessary here. And maybe there is a change in your career, in your work environment, in your purpose. But I think it starts with you believing that you can get this change, get this ball rolling in whatever way that means for you. Yeah, I just feel like a lot of this is like believe in yourself. We also have play, have fun, celebrate, don't be so serious, protection, and then leap. So, yeah, Spirit is saying definitely trust what you want to go towards. Take that leap of faith. Bet on yourself, because the universe is going to have your back with that. And know that you are protected. So you don't have to take everything so seriously. You don't have to be so like somber and so like on edge, like you can have more faith and more trust in yourself, in the universe. I would start with that, because it feels like there's a lack of trust, which has you questioning or maybe not even honoring the changes in the direction that you're feeling guided to go into. So let's get into it. Okay, let's see what's going on with you. Okay, bottom of the deck, we do have the Seven of Pentacles, the Wheel of Fortune, the Knight of Wands, the Ten of Cups. Yeah, I definitely see that you're wanting a change in your career. I think that you want to go towards things that are more aligned with your passions and the things that bring you emotional fulfillment. Maybe you're wanting something where you can work with families or children, or maybe you're wanting more free time in your career, or just not wanting to have to dedicate so much energy to it, so you can dedicate more time to friends and family and loved ones. Okay, there's definitely something brewing though with the Wheel of Fortune, Seven of Pentacles. There's something being worked out. Okay, definitely trust in divine timing, divine orchestration. We have the Nine of Swords, Eight of Cups, Ace of Wands, Page of Swords. You definitely want to go towards a new passion. Something has really lit a spark in you and you want to explore that. But there's a lot of fear surrounding leaving something behind, especially say this is you wanting to start a business. It's definitely scary to leave something that has stability in the 401k and health insurance to branch out and do something on your own. That is scary. That's why most people don't own their own businesses. It's not an easy thing to do. But if that's what's in alignment for you and that's what makes you happy, you have to trust yourself. You can stay at your job and start your business. That's what I'm doing. Like, I don't do this by itself. You know what I mean? Because then I would be struggling for money. And that's not a good energy to put into your business, So if you're not ready to fully go towards something, how can you start taking those baby steps? How can you get that ball rolling with one action, one thing at a time? It doesn't have to be this grand sweep energy, Okay, so let's talk about it. So we're going to break down take a break, a life's work, not a season, get off the treadmill. Tell me more about take a break for Taurus. Oh. Okay. This is definitely an energy where surrender is necessary. Know that you might be realizing things or having certain goals, desires. Spirit is saying, like, it's beautiful to have those goals and desires. They're going to come to fruition. But a part of that journey is learning to surrender, learning to trust in the divine, learning to let things come to you. Okay? That's that force and control. We also have Judgment and the Hierophant. The Hierophant is your card, Taurus. We also have Pisces and Scorpio here. But you've made a decision about your life and about the way you want it to go. So Trust. Okay. Trust that you making that decision and bringing awareness and solidifying something is doing something, like it's not just about seeing it play out and the changes in the physical reality. The first thing that has to change is your mental state and your frequency and your belief in it. So just trust. I feel like that's the main thing. Trust this journey. All right, let's talk about it. We have the Queen of Swords with the Page of Cups, Ace of Cups, Six of Cups, the Page of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, Seven of Swords, Three of Wands. Okay. I definitely see that there is a tough decision you're going to have to make when it comes to your own success and, where you want to be in life. I think that you are going to have to leave a current job or just go towards a new direction, a new path. And with the Seven of Swords here, I think there is a lot of questioning with that path. You're just not, it feels like you're not feeling certain, like you're not 100% sure. And the fact that you're showing up as the King of Pentacles means there is a lot of success and abundance in this new path for you. But it does require you to make some difficult decisions and walk away from certain things. Maybe you're worried about how people will perceive you. Maybe you don't want to let people down or seem selfish, whatever the case may be. That's totally understandable. But at the end of the day, it is your life. And you have to live it to the fullest. You have to do what makes you happy, and there is a way to handle things to where you're not screwing anyone over. That's why people have a 2-week notification whenever they're quitting somewhere, so that way people can get new people hired and figure out who's going to cover your shifts and your work and your duties. There's systems in place for a reason. So I wouldn't carry the brunt of like, well, how is this going to impact other people? I would just focus on, okay, this is what I need to do. This is the proper way to go about that. So let's get that going, Tell me a bit more about the Seven of Swords. Yeah, it's like you don't want to hurt anybody. You don't want to appear selfish. Okay. I think the people you work with, people that are close to you, they do really matter a lot to you. You don't want to make anyone feel, you don't want to be selfish. You don't want to screw anyone over. I get that totally. And that's why I'm saying there's ways to go about this to where that isn't the case, But with the Two of Pentacles, this is definitely, you're going back and forth between like, well, how will other people feel about this? And what do I need to feel fulfilled in my career? At the end of the day, trust yourself and honor what feels right for you. It's your life and you have to prioritize your needs and what's important to you, or else no one else will. And that does not make you a bad person. How you go about that can make you feel good or bad. So just make sure you're, crossing your T's, dotting your I's, and handling this in an appropriate professional way. You got that. That's not a problem. Okay. Let's see. We do have the Page of Cups, Page of Pentacles. So I definitely see there's a lot of excitement with this new chapter for you. In the Ace of Cups too, like I feel like you're really wanting to follow your heart, embark on something new, really just kind of put yourself out there, bet on yourself. And I'm always going to advocate for this. I feel like this is the whole point of being on Earth is, having love in a physical form, whether that's like the love for the trees and earth and pets, food, or the love for another person, or the love for your purpose. And it's also, we're here to grow and expand. And a lot of the times that means leaving comfort zones and going towards new things. So I feel like whatever it is you're being called to go towards, you definitely should go towards it. This could be something where maybe you're having to go back to school or get some sort of certification or just learn more. But again, like as you're in this learning phase, I do think you can like stay at the job you're at while you're growing this other thing. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to fully walk away from one thing to start this new thing. Both things can go at the same time. just make sure you're prioritizing this over this current job. You know what I mean? Like, obviously there's certain times when, like, for example, I work at a restaurant while I'm growing my business. So there's times whenever I can't do a one-on-one session during a certain time because I have to work, or I can't go to a certain event because I have to work. But there are moments whenever I'm going to take off so I can go to this event. There are certain days that I stay off so I can work on my business. You know what I mean? If people ask me to pick up a shift, I'm not always going to pick up a shift because I've got business to take care of. You know, so it's just about like finding that balance between what it is you want to go towards and what's going to help you go towards it in a calm, balanced, productive way, you know? Yeah, there's a big decision that you're having to make here. And I think intuitively you know that you're going to have to walk away from one thing in order to go towards your fulfillment. And that's beautiful because obviously there's a lot of love and dedication you have for this current job situation or career. But don't let that hold you back. Okay? Tell me more about the Ace of Cups, Page of Cups, Page of Pentacles. Please and thank you. Yeah, Nine of Pentacles, Eight of Cups. I love it. Yeah, it's time for you to be selfish, Taurus. It's time for you to choose yourself and choose the things that really light you up. Recognize that you're walking away from things that don't bring you fulfillment. These cups are empty. And look at how abundant and beautiful this garden is. Okay, it's time for you to choose you. Choose the things that make you happy, that make you light up. Like, what is the perfect path for you where you're excited to get up in the morning and you're excited to show up and do the work that you need to do? You know what I mean? Like, I love doing tarot. I love going to events and helping people heal and, you know, just making people feel seen. I love it. I love giving guidance and advice. So what is that for you? What is it that you won't feel bad about choosing it? And if you're always going to feel bad, why is that? You know, let's be a retired people pleaser. That's like one of my favorite sayings, like, you are a retired people pleaser. Let's do it. Because let me tell you, you're going towards fulfillment, success, achievement. This is worth it, you know? And at the end of the day, if you don't go towards the life that you want to go towards, you're going to be 20 years down the road, 30 years, 50 years being like, what am I doing? What have I done this whole time? You know? And I don't want that for you. Okay, we have the Queen of Swords, Six of Cups. So there definitely could be like an inner child wound or something from the past. Or maybe it's just the nostalgia and memories and time you've spent here that's making you question or doubt yourself or doubt if it's the right thing to do. But with the Queen of Swords, it's time to get those emotions in check. Okay, it's time for you to look at the facts of the situation. You know, you like where you're at currently, but it's not fulfilling you in the ways this other thing could. So allow yourself to go towards this other thing, you know? And that's what I'm saying, like, allow that transition to be smooth for you. You don't have to make the decision, be like, okay, I'm done, bye, you know? Like, you can start these little things here and there. And as that's growing and growing and growing, you'll be more and more comfortable walking away. It doesn't have to be overnight. All right, tell me more about the Queen of Swords, Six of Cups. Beautiful. We have Temperance and the Star. Yes. So there's definitely a lot of balance that's going to be coming through in regards to like your logical and your heart space and the inner wounds that you have. I definitely see that this is going to be a huge turning point for you in your life. And again, it's not like you're making some big decision. I think it's just the fact that you're bringing awareness to what it is that you want moving forward, and maybe the parts of you that struggle with accepting that. That's beautiful, you know? Like, recognize that's part of the journey just as much as making that big leap is. Okay? That's why you don't have to rush or try to force, because all of it's unfolding exactly as it's meant to, and you're learning so much about yourself just through the awareness alone. Okay, so take your time with this journey. There's no need to rush, right? A life's work, not a season. Get off the treadmill. You know, you don't have to rush through it. But this is going to be a big, big shift for you. And there's going to be a lot of balance and a lot of trust within yourself, within the universe that's going to come through. And I definitely feel like you're going to be very grounded as well. Like there's lessons you're learning, like you're getting it. And I think that's such a great opportunity. Yeah, like I definitely see you choosing to go towards that happiness, that joy, what lights you up. That's what's motivating you here. So hold on to this, and then the rest of this will be a lot easier to go through, because when you have your truth, your heart, what is right for you, guiding you and leading you, it makes it a lot easier to walk away from the things that aren't quite right. It makes it easier to make those difficult decisions and commit to that path that you want to be on. Gorge. Okay, so let's look into Dance with Life, do something to change your energy, and align your life, what is not aligned or needs to change. So let's see what changes need to happen. I think it's a matter of trust and honoring what makes you happy and letting that unfold with grace and with time. Okay, tell me more about Dance with Life, align your life. Ayana, fix my life. I think that's her name, Ayana. I don't know. All right, we didn't get as much here, but that's okay. We have the Four of Swords, the Nine of Wands, the Eight of Swords, the Two of Cups. Okay, everyone, let's take a drink of water. Okay, so this could have to do with maybe a relationship. The Two of Cups does talk about divine partnership, but that can be a friendship, a coworker, romantic. So we'll see about it. This could be that like maybe someone you're in a relationship with, or a friend or a family member, maybe that's impacting your career. This could also be, you know, again, like I do feel like there is a closeness in your work environment. So maybe you're worrying about maintaining those relationships or how they will be impacted by you choosing to do what's best for you. We'll see about it. Because yeah, with the Nine of Wands, Eight of Swords, there's definitely a lot of like fear, anxiety, like second guessing when it comes to this shift. But the Nine of Wands does talk about being very motivated, being very determined. So it's almost like Spirit wants you to approach this with less fear. Okay, there doesn't need to be so much overthinking and second guessing. There doesn't need to be like, you don't need to push your way to this or force it. Okay, because what's meant for you is meant for you. So I think it's more about how can you embrace change with more grace, and I think that would make this whole thing a lot easier for you. Okay, and with the Four of Swords, there's definitely a lot of healing and restoring, rejuvenation that's coming through here. I just think this has been a very difficult time for you, Taurus, and it's really kind of got your wheels turning and just maybe feeling like you're spiraling a bit. But I think it's just because there's a shift happening and you know it, your nervous system knows it. So how can you bring yourself more love, more nurture, more ease to handle this with more grace? All right, we do have the Sun card, the King of Swords, the Magician. Yeah, it's all about you taking up space. It's about you honoring who you truly are and not diluting yourself, not putting your needs on the back burner and your goals on the back burner. It's time for you to take up space, to be in the spotlight, to honor your truth. Okay. All right, so let's talk about the Nine of Wands, Eight of Swords. Tell me more about that. Yeah, like trust that you are going to go towards what's better for you, what's more in alignment for you. I do see that there is going to be a situation where maybe some things, some discomfort comes in order for you to trust that it's time for you to move forward, but sometimes that's what we need. Okay, so we have the King of Wands, the Queen of Pentacles. I think there needs to be a lot more confidence with you in regards to this change, this shift, okay? because this is something that is completely like emotional and intuitive for you, right? Whenever your heart is guiding you, there shouldn't be so much fear. Okay, like yes, you may not have the logic behind it, and the ego, the brain, can make you second guess and make you hesitate. But your job as a conscious human is to bring ease and understanding to those parts of yourself instead of letting them control you and have you, delaying what you're meant for. You got to sit with that part of you and say, hey, I'm in a big body now. I have trust now. You can believe in me. And if things don't work out how we expected, there's some sort of lesson to be learned there. You know? Don't let those parts of you run you. Just like when a baby is throwing a fit, you don't sit and throw a fit with it. You just, try to coddle it, try to give it love and nurture and calm it down. Because at the end of the day, the change that you're wanting in your career is meant for you. This is a matter of trusting yourself, trusting your intuition, the universe, and knowing that you do have everything you need to see this through. With the King of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles, that's all about nurture, confidence, capability, not backing down from a challenge. And what's beautiful, the challenging part of this is you trusting it, is you flowing with it and not second guessing it. That's a beautiful place to be. So the fact that you're the only one keeping you held back, you're closer than you think. And sometimes when we get closer, it's like our ego knows. And so it's like, stop, back it up, we're not ready. You know what I mean? So allow yourself to continue on this journey and know that a part of continuing is sitting with that part of you. All right, let's look into this Two of Cups. Tell me more about the Two of Cups. Okay. Ooh, yeah. See, that's the big thing because we have the Devil here. So there's something about somebody around you that is making you, by the way, not making you, you're giving your power away. But this connection is bringing a lot of doubt and fear here. Yeah, okay, you need to trust yourself. You need to trust yourself when it comes to this new job opportunity. There could be a job offer coming to you. You got to trust yourself, okay? And with the Hermit, this is the guy from the Eight of Cups. Perfect, here he is. This guy is the Hermit before he gets into Hermit mode, okay? So know that this change, this walking away is exactly what you need to grow. And there's going to be a lot of abundance for you here. And also the Empress too. Like everything that you're wanting is going to come through here and you have to go towards it. You have to trust. It's going to require you to walk away from something or one ending into a new beginning, but that's what's needed. That's what's needed. Okay. All right. So let's see. We have the Four of Pentacles, the Five of Pentacles, the Two of Swords. Yeah. Yeah. You're holding on very tightly to this connection, whatever this is. Like maybe this is your boss and you, and you're like, well, I don't want to screw them over and like ruin what I've got going on here, but I've got this great new opportunity. Again, there are ways to execute these things so that way you don't have to throw away any relationships or anything like that. Also, if there's so much fear around this person, like, well, if I do what's best for me, they're going to be upset. That's not someone you want around you anyways, okay? But the Five of Pentacles, Two of Swords, I think you're very worried about, maybe you're worried that the new opportunity isn't going to be as great. Maybe you're worried about how these people will receive it. You don't want to feel abandoned, neglected. You don't want to make anyone else feel that way. Whew. I need to know more. Tell me more about the Two of Cups, Four of Pentacles, Five of Pentacles. Like, what's going on? Who are these people? We have the Chariot. Okay. At the end of the day, they're saying go towards what it is you want to go towards. It's time to take action. Okay? Because you're really worried about how everyone else is going to be impacted, but it's your career. You know what I mean? Like, I understand if you're wanting to start a new business and you're like, well, there's people that rely on me for financial stability, so I can't just go towards this new thing without security. I get that. That's why you start here, and then as that's growing, you slowly leave what it is you're in currently. But you're letting too many people influence your purpose, your career. And it's keeping you blocked from listening to your heart, listening to your intuition. Yeah, it's time to follow your truth and bet on yourself, okay? You've been putting in a lot of work towards something that you love, and spirit is going to help that grow and flourish. But if you don't choose to go towards it, there's going to be a tower moment. Something's going to happen to where you have no choice. You're meant to go towards something, and spirit is going to see it through. You can either do it with spirit, or spirit will do it to you, for you. That's your choice. Anything else for this Two of Cups? The Empress. Okay, yeah. It's time for you to pull back your energy from that connection and go towards the success that you're meant to go towards. And also, anyone that truly loves you, supports you, whether that's a coworker, a friend, romantic partner, will want you to do what you want to do, what's best for you, what you're being called towards, you know? All right, tell me more about the Four of Swords here. Oh. Okay, fierce. Wow, love that. Okay, we have the Five of Wands and the Six of Swords. I definitely see, especially with this Two of Cups, whether that's a romantic thing, friend, family, coworker, whatever, I see something happening between the two of you or the group of people in you, whatever, to where it's like, it makes it clearer than ever that you're meant to move on. And it may be hurtful at first, but you know it's a gift from the universe, because you're like, you know what? This is exactly the confirmation I needed to trust myself to go towards this new path. You know, whether that means you quit this job, or maybe you just mentally check out and you're like, you know what? Fine. Then I am going to invest in myself and in my own business and in my own path. And while I was feeling bad about that or unsure about it, that gave me all the clarity I needed. Because look, we got the Six of Wands, the Emperor. There's also the Ace of Swords and the Eight of Wands here. So some sort of clarity is coming through, whether it's through communication, like an email, a phone call, or maybe you just like have an epiphany, or you see something for what it truly is. It's exactly what you needed to have that confidence to move forward. Okay, and with the Six of Wands, the Emperor, beautiful. Okay, you're definitely a boss, and you're meant to sit in that throne, fix your crown, and get things moving. Okay. This could also be someone coming through who's a better match for you, whether that's romantic, friend, family, whatever, you know? I definitely see one situation clearing and then this new thing coming in. And it's like, this is exactly what I've been waiting for. This is the energy, the alignment that I've been on. And I'm so glad that I found a career path, co-workers, a work environment that support that for me. Gorgeous. I love it. Don't doubt yourself, Taurus, because you're meant for this new shift. And, you know, doubting yourself is just a way for the devil to play with you. So we don't do that. All right, fierce. Okay. Well, let's get into love now, shall we? I'm trying to decide. Maybe I should. Should I get these other cards back up? Okay, no. I heard no. Okay. All right, let's see what's going on in love. Bottom of the deck, we have retreat. It's time to disconnect from the world, free yourself. It's time to take back control of your life. Let go of control issues, allow the situation to unfold naturally. Forgiving and learning. As you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moment. Okay. So I definitely feel like you're having to let go of someone here, okay? Or maybe you're having to just take a step back from the relationship. I kind of see similar things playing out with love and career. I think overall it's about letting go of control and letting things unfold naturally. And instead of trying to control other people or the external, control yourself. Focus on yourself and do things that make you happy. So that way you're not trying to pour all this energy into things that don't make sense. And it's not that it means you're not meant to be with this person or whatever, but maybe it's just the approach needs to shift, All right, let's see. All right, and this is for anyone, whether you're single, taken, married, in a situationship, whatever the case may be. Let's get some love messages for Taurus, please and thank you. All right. You have trust. The situation is calling for you to have faith and keep an open mind, healing family issues. Okay, so it does feel like it could be a situation of right person, wrong time. Like maybe there's some growing that you both are needing to do at this moment. So you're having to take some space and let certain things be worked out. All right, we have worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. Okay, beautiful. Yes, we're letting things unfold. And then unrequited love. There's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. Yeah. And then engagement. Your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. Okay, so it could feel like maybe you're trying to force something with someone else and you're like, okay, let me surrender, let me let this go. And then maybe someone new comes in, or maybe in that surrender process, there's new realizations, growth, healing that have happened. And then now you guys can come back together better than ever. Let's see what's going on. Okay. Let's start with unrequited love. All right, tell me more about unrequited love for Taurus, please and thank you. Yeah, I see that you were really trying to be patient with something and let it unfold naturally, but then it got to the point where you're like, I actually don't want this. Okay. We do have the Ten of Swords and Judgment here that are flipped over. So you could be dealing with a Scorpio, but I feel like you're realizing that you don't want to do something anymore. Okay, I think that you tried to really put a lot of energy and time into this connection, but it's just like you're tired, and you realize you're getting clearer on what you want in a relationship. You're like, do I really want to fight with my partner like this? Do I want to question them like this, question us? Like, do I really want that? And I think you're recognizing that you don't. Okay. Yeah, it's like with the Three of Pentacles, Ten of Pentacles, I feel like you want someone that you see the long term with. You want someone that it feels like you are a team, not fighting against each other. I think this time you are really getting clear on what you want in career, in love, and you're having to learn how to surrender and let that come to you and let it unfold naturally, rather than trying to force someone to be who you want to be, or force a work environment to be what you want it to be. There may have been a situation where maybe you were compromising on your boundaries and expectations just to say you got something, We do have Justice and the Ten of Wands, so you could be dealing with a Libra, but I definitely see that there is a need for balance here. I think that you have been putting a lot of energy and attention into something, and I feel like you're tired. I feel like, like you're like, if I'm the only one fighting for this, if I'm the only one trying to make it better, trying to put the energy into it, then what am I doing? Like, why am I doing it by myself? Then I could just put this energy into me, and I will see some growth for me, And I keep saying, it's like you want someone to understand where you're coming from and how you're feeling about things, but it just feels like you're talking to a wall. All right, tell me more about Ten of Wands, Justice. Yeah, the Tower. See, something's not working here. Something is not working. And, it's unrequited love, so it makes sense. But You tried to get it to work. You tried to bring it together, but it just doesn't make sense. Yeah, it's like you want a balanced connection. You want someone that you can lean on, someone that you can trust, and you want that person to feel that way about you too. All right, tell me more about the 10 of Pentacles, 3 of Pentacles. Yeah, you know what you want, and you're willing to go be by yourself for a while until you feel like it's ready to come to you. And you're ready to receive it, you know? I definitely feel like you are focusing on yourself right now, putting your energy into you. And it doesn't mean that you guys aren't with this person right now, but I just feel like you recognize how much energy you've put into it, and it's just not fair, honestly. Okay. Let's see about worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. Let's see about that. Worth waiting for. Okay. Okay. So there's definitely a lot of anxiety when it comes to your love life. And I can see how this plays out in your career, you know, like you question the timing. You question the timing. And whenever you feel like something is taking too long, you feel like, okay, well, then it's never going to happen. Or if you've put in a lot of time and energy into something, you don't want to waste that time and energy. So you just stick with it, even if you feel like it's not making sense and it doesn't work. That's the biggest waste of time and energy for me. If it's not working, you sticking around isn't going to make it work either. I'm just being honest, you know? Because at the end of the day, if somebody wanted to do something for you or show up how you wanted them to show up, they'd be doing it. Okay? So sometimes you got to walk away for this person to realize you're being serious about your love, your happiness, and your peace. And they can either get it together or they won't. Either way, you're going to be okay. You know? I definitely see 8 of Pentacles, you working on yourself. Okay? Yeah, I don't see you trying to force this thing to come together. You're definitely overthinking and fearful, but I don't see you letting that energy control you. And instead, you're going to put your energy into your career or school or whatever. All right. But we do have the Ace of Wands, Page of Wands, and the Strength card. So there could be a fire sign coming your way. Could be a Leo or a Sagittarius or Aries. But I do see maybe you meet somebody out or doing some sort of hobby or something fun that you really like to do. I feel like this is somebody that you're really going to have to like surrender, which is, I feel, what spirit wants you to learn is how to surrender. Yeah, I feel like there's going to be a part of you that has that knee-jerk reaction where you're like, okay, let me force this and let me try to make this work because I like this person. It's like, no, let it unfold naturally. Let's just see. Take your time. Take your time with your relationships. Don't be in a rush to have somebody by your side, because then when you rush that, then it's like you're less likely to honor the boundaries and expectations you have, because then it's like, well, they're already here, so let me just try to mold them into what I want them to be. Or you could take your time and get to know them and decide for yourself, is this someone I want in my life? All right, tell me more about the 9 of Swords, 8 of Pentacles. Yeah, this is definitely a time to be patient. Things are balancing out in your relationship, but you have to trust and let that unfold naturally. And I think that things are balancing out within you, right? There is a lot of questioning and overthinking that happens here. And if you learn how to balance that fear and that faith, and you learn how to have trust and patience, that will be extremely beneficial for you and your relationships. Yeah, see, there's a big chapter closing and a new one coming through for you. I'm excited. I feel like this is going to be a new life centered around trust and faith, and that's just beautiful. I love it. Yeah, 9 of Pentacles just flipped over. So Definitely be patient, okay? And again, like recognize that how you approach something is kind of like laying the foundation for it, you know? Are you approaching something with fear and rushing and trying to force, or are you approaching something with trust and ease and surrender? Which one do you want in your relationships? All right, tell me more about the Ace of Wands, Page of Wands, the Strength card. Okay. We have the Knight of Swords, the King of Swords, and the Wheel of Fortune. Gorgeous. Okay. So I definitely see someone coming towards you very quickly, or maybe you moving towards someone very quickly. With the Wheel of Fortune, it's like as soon as you decide to stop giving your energy to this other situation, it's like new people just start coming in, you know? And I think a lot of that has to do with you taking the time to really get to know yourself and your needs in a relationship and how you want to approach them instead of just, you know, getting all caught up in your feelings and just letting things go crazy, you know? Could be dealing with an air sign as well, because there's a lot of air here. That could be Aquarius, Libra, or Gemini. So maybe you're walking away from one and going towards something new. I feel like you're leaving behind the logical approach and going towards the more passionate, exciting approach, which I think is necessary. I think you overthink and overanalyze a lot, which, hey, me too. I get it. And I think that Spirit wants you to have more fun and more trust in all the approaches in your life, all the areas in your life. Okay, fierce. And then we have engagement. Your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. Very exciting. So tell me more about engagement for Taurus. Okay. Oh, there it is. Okay. You know what's funny? So this is the Everything is Fine card, right? And then we have the Ten of Swords here. So this deck always comes with Everything is Fine. And I was looking for it and I was like, I don't know where this card went. Maybe I gave it to somebody. I don't know. So found it. We have Everything is Fine, the Hierophant, and the King of Cups. Okay. I like this. So you're definitely going to have marriage, long-term commitment in your life, okay? Right now, I see that you're going through a phase of, you know, like kind of freeing yourself from just the blockages, the negative energy from partners that don't make sense for you. That's what you're going through. And Spirit's letting you know, like, yes, on the other side of this is long-term commitment. I know it hurts and it's painful and it's hard to go through this right now, but it's going to be worth it, okay? Because you are going to go towards so much happiness and fulfillment. It's going to be beautiful. Tell me more about Everything is Fine. See, they're letting you know you are going to have a new start in love, right? One ending leads to a new beginning, and that's all that this is. It's not to say that it's not hard, but it's not going to be for nothing. You are honoring your boundaries. You're honoring your energy by walking away from one thing and allowing something new to come in. Tell me more about the King of Cups, the Hierophant. Okay, we have the Five of Cups, the Page of Swords, the Eight of Wands. Yeah, it's like there is a lot of disappointment that you had to deal with in regards to your relationships. But know that when one partnership doesn't work out, it's just because that person wasn't in alignment for you, you know? Whether that means you needed to grow more or this other person needed to grow more, maybe your morals and values, your lifestyles weren't in alignment, whatever the case may be. Yes, it's disappointing and it's hurtful, but everything happens for a reason. So take the lesson, not just the pain. Okay, what did this teach you about you and what you need to learn and grow with in relationships? How you need to stick to your boundaries and expectations, you know? But with the Eight of Wands, Page of Swords, I'm telling you, I feel like it's going to happen quickly, this new connection or whatever this is. Like, I feel like you have so much clarity. It's just about sticking to it. And as you stick to it, as you heal yourself and work on yourself, it's going to be very, very beautiful. Honestly, I do feel that. And I feel like new things are going to come in very quickly. It might even be a little overwhelming at first, but I mean, you're ready for a new chapter in your life that is centered on trust and faith and surrender. It's no more about controlling and forcing. That's not working for you, and it's just causing you stress and friction. So allow yourself to surrender. Surrender this relationship, surrender this work environment, surrender how you thought this was going to go. Because something is changing for you, to help you, to make your life better than it ever was. And you deserve that. Okay? All right. That's your reading, Taurus. Thank you again so much for watching. And if this resonated for you, let me know with a like, a comment. Definitely subscribe, share this reading with a fellow Taurus. And if you guys would like more from me, you can book a personal reading on my website, avianasascension.com. That is linked down below. I also do soul alchemy ceremonies where we help turn your pain into power, and we can do those virtually if you are not near me. And yeah, and if you want even more, sign up for my newsletter. Okay, it's a great way to get the readings directly to you. I always like to pair them with more spiritual guidance, meditations, affirmations, rituals, things like that. So check it out. But thank you guys for watching. I love you, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.